In the wild, quiet does not mean safety. It means information is being withheld. Beneath the canopy of dense forests, where light fractures into thin ribbons and the air holds the weight of moisture, life continues under rules that reward those who wait rather than those who rush. At first glance, nothing seems out of place. Leaves sway gently. Insects hum without urgency. The forest breathes as it always has. But this calm is temporary, a fragile arrangement that can collapse in a heartbeat. Somewhere within this layered stillness, a presence moves without intention to be seen. The Bengal tiger does not announce itself. It does not need to. Its authority is written into the land it inhabits, reinforced not through constant confrontation, but through memory of scent, of sound, of encounters that ended long before witnesses arrived. What makes the tiger formidable is not speed alone, but restraint. Its body, built for explosive power, remains held in reserve. Muscles do not waste energy on unnecessary motion. Each step is deliberate, measured against terrain softened by rain and shadowed by foliage. Orange fur patterned with dark stripes dissolves into filtered sunlight, breaking the outline of its form. This is not beauty for display. It is survival refined over generations. To an outside observer, the forest appears unchanged. But the distance between predator and prey has already begun to close. Nearby, a deer feeds among damp grass, head-lowered, senses focused on routine rather than threat. The air carries unfamiliar scents, but not enough to trigger alarm. In the wild, reacting too often can be as costly as reacting too late. The tiger watches. It does not rush. Every failed hunt carries consequence. Energy spent cannot be recovered easily. A single mistake can mean days without food. For a predator of this size, efficiency is not preference, it is necessity. Minutes stretch. Muscles tense, then relax. The forest holds its breath. When the moment comes, it arrives without warning. The tiger explodes forward, closing the distance in seconds. Speed long withheld is released with absolute commitment. There is no prolonged pursuit, no second attempt. The outcome is decided almost as soon as the movement begins. When it ends, silence returns heavier than before. Victory, however, is never simple. The cost of the hunt lingers in the slowing breath of the predator, in the energy drained from powerful limbs. Survival here is not a sequence of triumphs, but a balance between risk and reward, recalculated with every decision. Beyond the hunt, the tiger's influence extends across vast territory. A mature male may patrol land stretching across dozens of square kilometers. Though patrol is not constant movement, instead the forest becomes a network of markers, faint but unmistakable. Claw marks scored into bark. Scents left along trails. Messages delivered without sound, yet understood by every creature that passes. These signals exist to prevent conflict, not invite it. Most rivals heed the warning. Those that do not face consequences, swift and uncompromising. When boundaries are crossed, encounters leave little room for negotiation. Such confrontations are brief, violent, and rare, because survival favors avoidance over dominance displays. Yet the tiger's story is not defined by aggression alone. Deeper within the forest, far from open paths and clearings, another reality unfolds. A tigress moves with heightened caution, her steps lighter, her awareness sharper. Responsibility alters behavior. Risk is no longer personal. Hidden from view, fragile lives wait. Leaving them unattended carries danger. So does staying too long. The tigress calculates constantly distance, scent, sound. Every hunt must be swift. Every return must leave no trace. On a quiet morning, filtered light spills through the canopy as she advances through thick undergrowth. Nearby, a wild boar forages beneath the trees, unaware that the forest has already shifted against it. The approach is flawless. No broken branch. No sudden movement. The tigress becomes part of the environment, closing in as if drawn by gravity rather than intention. When the strike comes, it is precise and final. There is no roar, no excess force, only control. As she stands over the fallen animal, breath steadying, the forest settles once more. In this ancient landscape governed by instinct and consequence, silence is not the absence of sound. It is dominance expressed without display, and here for now it belongs to the tiger. From the surface, water suggests clarity, movement, reflection, life. But beneath that shifting skin lies a different truth. Depth distorts distance. Sound travels unevenly. Vision becomes unreliable. In these conditions, survival favors those who wait, rather than those who search. Along the slow bends of an African river, the bank appears undisturbed. Mud dries and cracks beneath the sun. Floating vegetation drifts lazily downstream. Nothing suggests urgency. Yet urgency exists hidden. The Nile crocodile does not patrol its territory. It does not chase. Its mastery lies in stillness so complete it becomes indistinguishable from the river itself. Only the eyes remain visible, resting just above the surface, fixed and unreadable. To an untrained glance, it looks inactive. To the river, it is fully alert. The crocodile's body remains submerged muscles, coiled, conserving energy. Its armored skin blends seamlessly with silt and shadow. Time passes without movement. Minutes stretch into hours, sometimes longer. The river offers cover and patience does the rest. Across the plains, thirst drives movement. A herd of zebras approaches the riverbank cautiously. Their journey has been long. Dust clings to their coats. Muscles tighten as they near the water's edge. Instinct slows their steps. Heads lift, ears turn. The surface of the river appears calm, too calm. Those at the front hesitate. Behind them, pressure builds as the herd closes in. Delay becomes risk. One by one, hooves step forward, breaking the fragile mirror of the water. Ripples spread outward, masking subtle changes below the surface. From above, the crossing seems chaotic, splashing movement, urgency. From below, it is opportunity. The crocodile does not react to the noise. It waits for alignment, position, distance, angle. Precision matters more than speed. A single miscalculation could mean wasted energy or injury. Then the river shifts. There is no warning cry, no visible struggle. One zebra is pulled beneath the surface with startling efficiency. Water closes instantly, erasing the moment as if it never happened. For those still crossing, panic replaces coordination. Bodies surge forward, driven by instinct rather than direction. They do not look back. In the wild, survival lies ahead, not behind. Below the surface, the crocodile completes its task unseen. Power meets resistance briefly, then overwhelms it. Control, not violence, defines the outcome. When the river settles, silence returns. To an observer arriving moments later, nothing appears different. The surface smooths, vegetation drifts on. Life continues along the bank as if uninterrupted. Only absence remains as evidence. The Nile crocodile does not celebrate. It does not linger. It withdraws deeper into the water, conserving strength for the next opportunity whenever it arrives. In this environment, success belongs not to the fastest, but to the most patient. The river does not reward haste. It rewards those willing to disappear. And beneath its surface, danger waits without movement, without sound, without mercy. Some occur when boundaries blur, when land and water briefly share the same space, and predators shaped for different worlds are forced to acknowledge one another. In these moments, survival depends less on dominance and more on judgment. Near the river's edge, the landscape changes character. Grass thins, mud softens, solid ground gives way to uncertainty. For a hunter built for speed and open terrain, this is unfamiliar ground. The cheetah moves cautiously, Its frame, designed for explosive acceleration, now advances in restraint. Long limbs adjust to uneven footing. The tail arcs gently behind, correcting balance with subtle precision. Here, a single misstep could mean injury or worse. Unlike many land predators, the cheetah does not treat water as an absolute boundary. It studies it. Ripples, reflections, disturbed silt, these details carry meaning. But information near water is unreliable. What appears still may be alert. What appears exposed may be waiting. Close to the shoreline, a young crocodile rests partially submerged. Its body absorbs warmth from the fading sun. From above, it seems vulnerable. From below, it remains prepared. Neither predator moves. This is not hesitation, it is assessment. Each understands the limits of its own advantage. The cheetah recognizes that speed means little in waterlogged ground. The crocodile senses that its power diminishes beyond the river's edge. No territory here belongs fully to either. For a brief moment, calculation replaces instinct. Then tension breaks. The cheetah lunges, not with the commitment of a hunt, but with the intent to control space. Dust and water scatter as both bodies react. The encounter is abrupt and chaotic, driven more by reflex than strategy. There is no elegance in this exchange. Claws scrape against mud. Water surges. The balance shifts unpredictably. Each second increases risk rather than certainty. Injury here would be costly, potentially fatal, long after the encounter ends. Almost as quickly as it begins, the confrontation dissolves. The cheetah pulls back toward firmer ground, abandoning the engagement before momentum turns against it. The crocodile slips deeper into the river, reclaiming the environment where it holds advantage. No pursuit follows. No victory is claimed. In the wild, disengagement is often the most intelligent outcome. Survival is not measured by confrontation alone, but by the ability to recognize when conditions no longer favor action. As night settles and the river resumes its quiet flow, both predators vanish into separate domains. The landscape restores its boundaries, erasing evidence of the encounter. What remains is a reminder: even the most specialized hunters are limited by environment. Power shifts with terrain, and sometimes survival depends not on pressing forward, but on knowing when to retreat. In the deep forests of North America, survival belongs to those who move unseen. Here the canopy thickens overhead, filtering light into scattered fragments. The ground remains cool and damp, absorbing sound. Every step risks revelation. Within this environment, the puma exists as absence. It does not announce territory through sound. It does not seek attention. Its strength lies in blending into spaces others overlook. A muscular body balanced on flexible limbs allows it to navigate steep slopes, fallen logs, and narrow clearings with equal ease. The forest shapes behavior. Wind direction matters. Moisture carries scent unpredictably. Echoes distort distance. The puma adapts by minimizing movement, conserving energy for moments that demand absolute commitment. As dusk settles, its senses sharpen. Vision adjusts to dim light. Hearing isolates patterns within noise. The forest becomes a map of subtle signals rather than visible paths. Ahead, a guanaco grazes near the edge of a clearing. The animal appears calm, focused on feeding. From a distance, nothing suggests danger, but the distance between predator and prey shortens without sound. The puma lowers its body weight, shifting forward. Each step is deliberate, placed where leaf litter softens impact. Muscles remain engaged but restrained. This hunt does not require pursuit. It requires timing. When the strike comes, it is instantaneous. The puma surges forward, covering ground in a single bound. There is no prolonged struggle. The outcome is decided before noise has time to form. Moments later, the forest returns to stillness. Efficiency here is survival, but hunting is only part of the puma's reality. As spring arrives, the forest changes rhythm. Snowmelt feeds rivers. New growth fills the understory. And with renewal comes competition. A female puma moves cautiously through familiar terrain, leaving faint traces behind. Somewhere nearby, another presence detects them. A rival male follows, driven not by hunger, but instinctive urgency. Their encounter is sudden and unceremonious. Growls tear briefly through the trees. Claws strike soil and stone. The confrontation is violent, but short-lived. One retreats wounded, but alive. The other remains, having asserted dominance without unnecessary risk. Yet the most difficult decisions come later. Hidden beneath fallen branches and dense cover, the female gives birth. Fragile cubs enter a world without protection. For them to survive, she must hunt, but each departure exposes their location to danger. Responsibility reshapes instinct. One evening, she approaches a riverbank where sounds travel farther. Nearby, a young bear cub wanders alone, separated from its mother. The cub moves clumsily, unaware of its vulnerability. The puma freezes. Opportunity exists, so does risk. As water splashes and the cub struggles against the current, the forest holds its breath. The puma assesses distance, sound, and escape routes. Then, before action can follow, a deep roar breaks through the trees. The mother bear has returned. The puma steps back, maintaining distance. This hunt ends without contact. Survival here is measured not by conquest, but by restraint. Injury would threaten the cubs waiting elsewhere. The bear gathers her offspring and disappears into the forest. For the puma, the night continues. She returns to her hidden den, guided by memory and caution. In the darkness, fragile lives depend on decisions made without hesitation and without regret. In this world, strength is not defined by what is taken. It is defined by what is preserved. In the deep forests of North America, survival belongs to those who move unseen. Here the canopy thickens overhead, filtering light into scattered fragments. The ground remains cool and damp, absorbing sound. Every step risks revelation. Within this environment, the puma exists as absence. It does not announce territory through sound. It does not seek attention. Its strength lies in blending into spaces others overlook. A muscular body balanced on flexible limbs allows it to navigate steep slopes, fallen logs, and narrow clearings with equal ease. The forest shapes behavior. Wind direction matters. Moisture carries scent unpredictably. Echoes distort distance. The puma adapts by minimizing movement, conserving energy for moments that demand absolute commitment. As dusk settles, its senses sharpen. Vision adjusts to dim light. Hearing isolates patterns within noise. The forest becomes a map of subtle signals rather than visible paths. Ahead, a guanaco grazes near the edge of a clearing. The animal appears calm, focused on feeding. From a distance, nothing suggests danger, but the distance between predator and prey shortens without sound. The puma lowers its body weight, shifting forward. Each step is deliberate, placed where leaf litter softens impact. Muscles remain engaged but restrained. This hunt does not require pursuit. It requires timing. When the strike comes, it is instantaneous. The puma surges forward, covering ground in a single bound. There is no prolonged struggle. The outcome is decided before noise has time to form. Moments later, the forest returns to stillness. Efficiency here is survival. But hunting is only part of the puma's reality. As spring arrives, the forest changes rhythm. Snow melt feeds rivers. New growth fills the understory. And with renewal comes competition. A female puma moves cautiously through familiar terrain, leaving faint traces behind. Somewhere nearby, another presence detects them. A rival male follows, driven not by hunger, but instinctive urgency. Their encounter is sudden and unceremonious. Growls tear briefly through the trees. Claws strike soil and stone. The confrontation is violent, but short-lived. One retreats wounded, but alive. The other remains, having asserted dominance without unnecessary risk. Yet the most difficult decisions come later. Hidden beneath fallen branches and dense cover, the female gives birth. Fragile cubs enter a world without protection. For them to survive, she must hunt, but each departure exposes their location to danger. Responsibility reshapes instinct. One evening, she approaches a riverbank where sounds travel farther. Nearby, a young bear cub wanders alone, separated from its mother. The cub moves clumsily, unaware of its vulnerability. The puma freezes. Opportunity exists, so does risk. As water splashes and the cub struggles against the current, the forest holds its breath. The puma assesses distance, sound, and escape routes. Then, before action can follow, a deep roar breaks through the trees. The mother bear has returned. The puma steps back, maintaining distance. This hunt ends without contact. Survival here is measured not by conquest, but by restraint. Injury would threaten the cubs, waiting elsewhere. The bear gathers her offspring and disappears into the forest. For the puma, the night continues. She returns to her hidden den, guided by memory and caution. In the darkness, fragile lives depend on decisions made without hesitation and without regret. In this world, strength is not defined by what is taken. It is defined by what is preserved. Across the open plains of East Africa, the giraffe rises above the grasslands, its long silhouette visible from great distances. With each unhurried step, it moves through a world where vision extends far beyond that of most animals. From this height, threats are easier to detect. Food is plentiful in places others cannot reach. Yet advantage is never absolute. The giraffe's body is a careful balance of strength and exposure. Long legs provide speed and power, but require coordination. A neck stretching more than 2 meters allows access to the upper canopy, yet shifts the center of gravity with every movement. Survival here depends on constant awareness. While feeding, the giraffe appears calm. Its tongue curls effortlessly around leaves high in the acacia branches. From a distance, the scene seems peaceful, almost effortless. But even in these moments, vigilance remains. Large eyes scan the grass below. Ears track distant sounds carried by wind across the plains. Danger often arrives unseen. Hidden among tall grass, a group of lions watches in silence. They do not test strength directly. A healthy adult giraffe is capable of devastating kicks that can end a hunt in seconds. The lions understand this. They wait for opportunity, not confrontation. Opportunity reveals itself through necessity. Thirst draws the giraffes toward water. And here height becomes vulnerability. To drink, the giraffe must spread its front legs wide and lower its head toward the ground. Vision narrows. Balance weakens. Escape becomes complicated. Time slows. Every second in this position increases risk. The grass stirs. The lions advance with practiced coordination, closing the distance without sound. Their movements are deliberate, synchronized, shaped by experience rather than impulse. The moment breaks. The giraffe bolts forward, legs driving powerfully against the earth. Dust rises as hooves strike the ground. A kick lands with crushing force, forcing one attacker back. But momentum favors the group. The lions press from multiple angles, exploiting fatigue and imbalance. The struggle is brief, intense, and decisive. When it ends, the savanna grows still once more. The pride withdraws into the grass to feed conserving energy for what lies ahead. Nearby, the remaining giraffes stand motionless, watching from a distance. There is no intervention. There is no return. Life on the plains demands continuation. Far from the site of the hunt, the cycle renews itself. After a long pregnancy lasting more than a year, a giraffe gives birth standing upright. The newborn falls more than 2 meters to the ground, a harsh arrival, but a necessary one. The impact awakens instinct. Within hours, unsteady legs find balance. The calf rises, takes its first steps, and soon begins to run. On the savanna, vulnerability is measured in moments, not days. This calf represents continuation, a fragile advantage shaped by evolution. Height will offer access. Awareness will offer survival. And every time it lowers its head to drink, it will face the same decision written into its biology. On the savanna, survival is not about standing tallest. It is about enduring the moments when height offers no protection. Colors fade. Distances shorten. Sound travels differently, bending through trees and open ground with deceptive clarity. In darkness, survival belongs to those who understand restraint, who move only when certainty replaces chance. In the quiet forests of southern Europe, a presence slips between shadow and undergrowth. The Iberian lynx advances without haste, its mottled coat dissolving into leaf litter and broken moonlight. To see it clearly is rare. To hear it coming is rarer still. This hunter does not rely on force. Its strength lies in precision, in the ability to reduce movement to necessity alone. Large eyes gather what little light exists. Ears rotate independently, tracing faint disturbances carried by night air. Every detail becomes information. Ahead, a rabbit feeds near low brush, unaware that distance has already collapsed. The lynx lowers its body weight, shifting forward steps, placed where sound disappears into soil and leaves. There is no urgency. Urgency creates mistakes. When the strike comes, it is clean and controlled. The forest absorbs the moment without reaction. Silence returns as if nothing has changed. The lynx does not linger. Success here is brief, functional, and quickly forgotten. The night continues. Far to the south beyond the cool forests, darkness settles over the African savanna. Heat lingers even after sunset, radiating from earth and stone. In this open landscape, shadow stretches differently, long, thin, and deceptive. Here another hunter awakens. The caracal moves across the plains with fluid confidence. Its reddish coat blends seamlessly with dry grass and fading light. Long black ear tufts stand upright, sensitive to the smallest sound. Medium in size, the caracal compensates with speed coordination and extraordinary vertical reach. A group of ground birds feeds nearby, scattered loosely across the terrain. The caracal lowers its body and waits. It does not rush the group. It watches for separation. One bird drifts just far enough from safety. The caracal explodes upward in a powerful leap, intercepting its target before alarm can spread. The action lasts seconds. The night closes in again. Life here allows no excess. When the breeding season arrives, the caracal follows instinct, guided by scent and sound rather than sight. Bonds are brief. Encounters end as quickly as they begin. The female retreats alone, seeking cover where shadow gathers thickest. Weeks later, fragile life emerges, hidden among dense brush or hollowed ground. Kittens remain blind and dependent. The mother hunts cautiously, never straying far. Each absence increases risk. Each return restores balance. As the young grow, play becomes preparation. Eyes open, movements strengthen, instinct sharpens. The night shifts from threat to familiarity. Whether in Europe's shadowed forests or Africa's open plains, these hunters rule without declaration. They do not claim territory loudly. They do not announce success. They endure by precision. In darkness, survival favors those who understand when to move and when to remain unseen. Some predators rely on speed, others on patience. Some disappear into shadow, while others move together, bound by memory and trust. Each follows a path shaped not by dominance, but by adaptation to terrain, to timing, to uncertainty. What unites them is not violence, but restraint. Every hunt carries risk. Every confrontation reshapes the future. Even the most powerful hunters are limited by energy, environment, and consequence. Strength alone does not decide outcomes. Judgment does. In the wild, silence is never empty. It is awareness. Stillness is never passive. It is preparation. These landscapes are not arenas. They are systems balanced, fragile, and constantly adjusting. Predators and prey exist not as opposites, but as parts of the same cycle. One defines the behavior of the other. Without this tension, balance fades. To an observer, these moments may seem harsh, but nature does not measure fairness. It measures continuity. Life persists not because it is gentle, but because it adapts. And adaptation requires choice. The choice to wait. The choice to retreat. The choice to conserve rather than confront. As night returns and the land settles once more, countless stories continue beyond what can be seen. Paths cross silently. Decisions are made without witnesses. The wild moves forward without pause, unaffected by attention or absence. We remain outsiders here, allowed only brief glimpses into a world governed by instinct rather than intention. If these unseen moments stir your curiosity, remember that they are unfolding every day, far beyond the edge of the frame. The natural world does not perform. It exists. Thank you for staying with us through these quiet struggles and fleeting victories. And if you choose to continue observing, there is always more waiting, hidden, patient, and unchanged. Until the next journey.